Hey, what is happening, everybody? This is Dregn Durant of the Yasuhiro88ch, and tonight we continue Horizon exploration. We're going to be jumping back into where the party left off, heading back to the camp. We'll jump in, do a quick round of introductions here shortly, do a quick little recap. I'm gradually making changes to the not only the interface but the game itself, so we'll see how it comes along. Hopefully the scuff is kept to a minimum, but let's go ahead and get ourselves moved down here. Ooh. Discord always likes to override. Here we go. We'll get my helmet on because arms. And let's see if I got the game loading properly here. Here we go. Nice. All right. Very nice. Very nice. So let's get ready to introduce the party. Hope you're all ready. And hello, party members.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
All right.
How's it going?
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Hell yeah. But let's go through a quick round of introductions. We'll do a little recap before we jump into the game. But I hope you're all ready for some sci-fi D&D. Horizon Exploration Episode 11. Let's go. Starting at the top, Sam Stonewell, played by Peter.
Hi, everyone. I play Sam Stonewell. I'm the resident technician of the group, and as it appears, I may not actually have any technician training. Oh.
And Maxine, unfortunately, is having some network issues. There we go. Hopefully, it stabilizes as we go through the night here. But Maxine Beck, played by Sean.
How's it going? I'm Sean, or Asbiel, and the party's marksman right now.
Right now? Is that going to change?
I don't know. I might
Night of the
decide to
team's
pick up
best
like a rocket
marksman.
launcher or something.
Rocket launcher marksman. Let's go. Here we go.
I headshot them. Their entire body's gone.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she kind of did that to someone's face earlier in the campaign. All right, next up, we have Caden Lumen, played by Calvin.
Hello, I'm the strange, mysterious guy of the group.
I like how your introduction for the past few sessions has just been, "Hi, I'm the mysterious one."
That's all I've really done in the game. Like, he shot people. I'm like, I just kind of loomed around in the background. Weird. That's all I've really done.
All right, and we have Dario Cortez, played by Sergio.
Hey everyone, I'm your party ranger here, and I guess I'd like to touch dirt. So sue me.
You haven't done it in a while, though. You feeling okay?
Oh, we're gonna get a lot of dirt action this session.
Look, Great Ghost is my favorite character in the game.
Let's go.
Kragos is so cool.
And last up, we have Koji Akiyama, played by
Hello.
Corey.
Hello, resident barbarian. Very angry lad.
All right, perfect. So, quick recap of where we left off last time on Horizon Exploration. The party, after being separated, were reunited at the entrances, or leading to the entrance of the crash site cave entrance, which they, along with Banuk and Cedar, two of the leadership of the caravan that you guys have all stumbled across, were with you, and you guys come under fire. Had a bit of a conflict with some new folks that came out of the caves, one of which was keeping watch as a sniper. You guys made easy work of them and explored the cave using a drone after a bit of a collapse at the entrance. And around that time, you had also encountered a bit of a energy fluctuation, a storm. Caden in particular was very adamant that something was about to happen. You all, after a bit of confusion, reluctantly agreed with the support of Banuk, who seemed to share some understanding with Caden after inquiring what the feeling was, and quickly departed from the cave entrances to leave the salted lands that you were upon. As you returned to where you had found some crashed shuttles those of which will be on the screen here. You return to a crash site where a AbsCorp shuttle seemed to have crashed with some sort of pedestrian transport vessel and was previously explored briefly. But you rendezvoused here with the rest of the caravan as you quickly fled the location where a catastrophe had seemed to have hit. Then, after a bit of discussion and questioning Caden about this feeling and how he seemed to know some event was about to fall upon them, the party decided to split up briefly. Well, not the party, but the group that was present. Banuk and the others of the caravan decided to return to the camp, the leadership having been gone from the camp long enough, whereas Luca accompanied the party back to the Salted Lands to see if one of the vehicles that was left behind due to some explosion could be salvaged and any survivors found. However, on the return, you instead encountered a bit of an unexpected view as Luca suddenly hard brakes at the edge where the lands suddenly have flattened. And before you all, you see nothing more than... Oh, one of the images didn't upload properly, damn it. Well, we'll use this one for now. Let me go ahead and share this. But you found a vast ocean, very still, lingering where the Salted Lands had been. And a bit of confusion befell the party as well as Luca. And to, I believe, was it Caden's protest? Luca had decided to taste the fluids that laid before them all. And in surprise, turned back to the party to reveal that the ocean had returned, claiming that the Salted Lands must have been ocean before the catastrophes changed them, which, to Luca's reluctant surprise, likely explained the presence of the Salted Lands where bodies of water used to be. But Caden also well knows that catastrophes occur over land as well, and has experienced as much. But the party, after a brief moment, and also realizing that there would be very little efficient way to reach where the vehicle may have been, let alone finding it in this now vast liquid scape in front of them all, decided that they should return, regroup with the others, return to the camp. And as the group was departing, the party suddenly befell in, I believe it was split. I believe Sam did not feel anything and Maxine also did not feel anything, but the rest of the party began to feel their hairs rise, began to feel goosebumps riddling their skin. And visible to the naked eye, the party then discovered lightning strikes and changes and warps in the view in front of them begin to form slowly, but where it happens appearing very violent. Began to see another catastrophe befall as Luca continues to floor the vehicle, rushing onward to where the crash site was. And that is where we'll be continuing tonight's episode 11. So, currently, the party is within the vehicle, rushing away as the space around them slowly begins to have little pockets of distortion, as blinding white strikes of energy, almost like thunderbolts, but a little bit different, arc through the sky, occasionally crashing down and flashing between the sky and the surface that you are all rushing across. In the areas where the lightning strikes, nothing seems to change, but they go from thin little strands of sparks to occasional bolts of crackling energy that flash around you all. Currently at a bit of a distance, but it does seem to very slowly be coming a bit more frequent. But Luca, behind the wheel, is rushing. Oh shit, we gotta get back. I don't want to get caught up in this. Is kind of mumbling to himself, flooring it. The ride is wild. Several of you have put your seatbelts on. I specifically recall Dario mentioning as such. And currently, you are heading towards where the two crash shuttles exist.
What is this? Kidding. I thought you said this wasn't a catastrophe.
That wasn't. This is.
Did we just drive? We gotta get out of
Find
here.
cover. Find. Is there a? Oh, we can't make it back to the cave. It's the wrong way. Do I? Would the ship protect us? I wouldn't know this. Never mind. Forget it, Dragon. I was going to ask you, but I wouldn't know. I've never really done it in a ship before.
Yeah, as far as you're aware, and give me a. I'm gonna have you roll history. First roll. Let's go.
Sure. History it is.
No whammies.
Well, we'll see. I'm pretty average at this. Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, in the spur of the moment, you're struggling to kind of figure out where to go. You mentioned the caves, not even remembering that the caves aren't even there anymore. You think about the vessels, thinking that maybe you can go within them, but you also recall that when you were hiding out from the storms, you were pretty deep away from the influence of the storms, or at least
we need
what you could see.
We need like a really deep cave or something if we want to survive this, or we need to just run like hell.
No,
hope we can beat it.
No, what we need to do is we need to get back. We need to get to the camp. I'm sure the others, you guys saw the flares. They're getting ready. We'll be all right. Banuk knows what to do. And Luca is visibly looking more frazzled than any of you had seen before.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Yeah, floor it, Luca.
All right, Luca continues. You guys are in for a bumpy ride as you see in the distance the shuttle, though especially the ArcCorp shuttle that is upright and crashed, is visible in the distance. You approach it fairly quickly, and Luca, without even hesitating, flies right by the scene. Further ahead, he begins to start making a subtle, but with the momentum of the vehicle, a forceful left turn to start navigating northward, heading back towards the camp, as a few of you guys that aren't wearing seatbelts might get shifted around.
I'm gonna close my eyes and see if I can, if I sense the storm coming our way, or like a bolt of lightning or anything like that. I'm gonna try and warn Luca, but I'm gonna just try and, as best I can, try and monitor the storm. I don't know if I can even, but I'm gonna try.
Give me an Arcana.
Eights are the thing tonight.
All right, your result is a 10 though, with a mod. And
yes.
Closing your eyes, Caden, it's unusual because you've never quite figured out why, even when hiding, some storms gave you this just wrenching gut feeling, whereas others just made your skin crawl. This one in particular is making your skin crawl. But trying to sense the storm itself, I suppose, where the eye of the storm may befall these lands, you don't pick up anything. You're in particular focusing, trying to outwards to where this energy is, trying to reach it, trying to do something. You're not even sure what, but no, what comes back is nothing but just a blank mind of.
Okay,
fuck.
I'll keep at it for the ride. There's not much else to do, so.
All right. And those that can see Caden, you'll see that he is currently closing his eyes, and actually, based on the position of everyone, if I move these images kind of out of the way, you'll see that driver's seat, we have Luca, Maxine, you're in the passenger, Koji and Dario, you guys are in the middle, and Sam and Caden are in the back. So Sam, if you look over, you'll see Caden has his eyes closed, but Luca continues rushing northward, heading in the direction as in the distance Maxine and anyone looking out the front window will see the airship that you had seen before. This one here has taken off as it currently lingers above what you assume to be the location of Banuk's little caravan camp. Luca continuing forward. Looks like they've already gotten it airborne. That's a good sign. That means all that's left should just be getting the rest of the camp packed up, and then we can get out of here. And through the last of this bumpy ride, Luca approaches the camp, begins to slow down as he circles it from the eastern side, making it counterclockwise along the rough perimeter of where everything has been set up. As you guys all look onwards, you'll see that the camp looks very different. Rather than the somewhat laid out and structured image that you had seen before. Instead, now you see a bunch of vehicles that seem to be packed up. Much of the camp folded down, much of what had laid out and about packed away, and now you see a large convoy of makeshift. Kind of looks like a circus convoy, except rather than, you know, cages and animals and rides, it's a bunch of kind of RV looking vehicles that have been set up in a very makeshift, slapped together fashion. But you see people running around. Luca hard pulls in to where the other vehicles are loosely parked. Definitely all of them are currently humming as the engines are running and people are running around. Orders are being shouted out and the airship lingers above you all. Luca rushes out of the vehicle. I'm going to head back to Banuk and the others, see what my orders are. The rest of you guys, what are you going to do?
See if we can help. I look to the others for like a consensus or not.
Well, we don't have a car. We can't leave. I guess we're gonna have to try to hitch a ride with one of these folks.
That's a fair point. We're not outrunning this storm on foot. If we want to ride with them, we're probably gonna need to help them.
As you all linger around
Thanks
the
for your concern. We'll try to help out best we can.
Luca nods. Much appreciated. We'll find you guys someone to bunk with on our way out, but I'll come and check with you guys in a little bit. As Luca kind of is hopping away as he says the last parts. And
as he runs away, I turn to the group. Kaden, how fast does the storm move? If we had one of these vehicles, could we outrun it ourselves?
It's a good question. I've never tried to outrun one before. I've usually hidden in a very deep cave and just waited it out.
Or get the feeling that our goals don't align with them as much anymore?
We don't got a lot of options right now. I have my reservations about them, but I think for the time being, our best option is to both save as many people as we can by helping them, but also save ourselves.
Yeah, and I guess we're gonna have to act really quick because I don't think we're gonna have enough time to do, I guess, everything.
Yeah, well, think about it this way. We could steal a vehicle and leave and screw someone else over. Or we could help them and we still get to leave. But we're not fucking anyone over that way.
Koji's gonna kind of look at Sam for a second and then get out of the car and start helping people. Just find something to do.
all right, Koji walks away and goes up to a group that is kind of ushering items from the camp proper to the vehicles. There's some trolleys attached to a couple of them that are being loaded up with any excess. And as some of you notice Koji walking away, maybe a few of you looking about, you'll also notice that a lot of the vehicles kind of, again, slapped together, items that are being stacked up on trolleys, being attached to the side of, you know, RV-like vehicles just to put anything anywhere that can be placed. And people are running about, getting the camp packed up fairly quickly. And to the west, as you look southwest in particular, you'll see the skies arcing with occasional flashes of energy. And across the period of time that you're all within the camp, as they begin to pack up, you will slowly notice, if you pay attention, that from the southwest, the arcs of energy seem to be getting, the diameter seems to be getting larger slowly as time passes. But Koji walks off, begins lending a hand to carry items from one place to another, and the four of you are still standing by the vehicles, humming.
Looking around, can I see if vehicles are starting to leave, and if so, if they're leaving in a certain direction, or are they mostly staying put in the camp waiting for directions to finally like move the entire convoy?
The vehicles are all humming. You can't quite tell if all the pedestrian vehicles south of you within the camp are humming, but all the Humvee-like vehicles, all the motorcycles, the vehicle with the turret on the back, as well as the large, what did I say? I think 7-seater, right? Kind of like a large, a longer Humvee is also humming nearby and making quite a bit of noise, along with the shuffling and shouting of others. So from what you can perceive, vehicles are running. You have noticed a few vehicles begin to move south of you all. There's been a few vehicles that seem to be posturing westward, but eastward. So they're moving kind of out of the way and not moving too far though, but they all seem to be positioning kind of in formation slowly as they complete, as they finish loading up as much as they can onto the vehicles. But no vehicle has actually left proper yet.
Sam, do you think if there's any cars that are left that will be able to take one? Maybe something that they're planning to leave behind?
Does one look available?
If you're looking around, quickly glancing, some of the vehicles around you are currently not manned, as people again are running to and from. The vehicles within the camp below all of them appear to be loaded up.
Instead of looking for another vehicle, the one we got off of.
Yep.
I assume Luca took the keys with him.
Nope. He left them in. The vehicle is still running beside you all, and it is also the larger vehicle of the bunch that you guys took.
I still have
It's a candy here.
I step on the car in front of us. Oh, I found a vehicle. There's one right here.
Let's just start loading stuff into it. Like, we'll take the stuff, like, we can still go the same direction.
Where's the booze?
Get all the booze and the food. Yeah, I'll just start, like, grabbing, again, I don't know if they have a system. I'm just going to start grabbing boxes and loading it into the back of this vehicle.
Okay. Any boxes that are closed, boxes that are open that you can see a particular something?
Boxes, there's no really rhyme to my system. I'm just like, we need to move shit. We'll put it in the vehicle. I'm just grabbing it, loading it in. I assume pretty much everything has to come, so.
All right. So the vehicle and the one that you're loading it in is the one you're beside?
Yeah, whatever one we came in on.
Gotcha. So there will be some limited cargo space, but there is some trunk space that you can get some boxes in.
Fuck it, strap it to the roof for all I care.
What up, Dazaki?
Fold down the back seats.
The stow and go?
And it never works. It's just stuck.
All right.
Yeah, whoever's driving, we might need to shuffle their chair forward a little bit more just so you get the stuff in, you know?
And with Caden moving about, Maxine, Sam, Dario, you guys are with next to the vehicle. What are you all doing?
Well,
Dario.
Go for it.
Dario looks around like, all right, and begins to try to help to start packing whatever he's able to find next to him onto the car.
Okay. Anything in particular?
Same thing. I guess same assumptions. Assuming everything needs to be taken to some place, so take whatever is in eyesight.
All right. Dario goes and kind of helps with what Caden is moving about as well.
Seems it wasn't picking up my mic a moment ago.
Oh, were you talking? Sorry.
There was a moment or two where I tried to start talking and it's like, they're not reacting. They can't
Welcome
hear
back,
me.
though.
Because I noticed it wasn't going green when I was talking. I want to follow Koji's lead, but I specifically would like to look for anyone who looks like they're particularly struggling and, keep an eye out for if anyone's dropping anything. I want to make sure people get out with the stuff they're trying to get out with. Anything that might have gotten dropped or potentially missed when they're trying to clear out their spaces in a hurry.
Cool.
So,
all right.
Yeah. More or less same. I'm focusing on people that are like struggling with heavy shit.
Okay. Easy.
Well, I'm gonna take a risk. I'm gonna make a mad dash to the command center where we met. Banuk and folks in that strategy center.
Okay. All right. Let's play it out. So, first of all, welcome, Ham and Cheese. Good to see you. And Koji, you definitely see some folks that are moving some heavier boxes. A couple of occasions, there's a guy just kind of standing, waiting for someone to show up to help pick up the other side, and you easily run up and pick it up and pretty much carry the box yourself. Dario, you, much the same, look for folks that are either waiting for a helping hand to carry something a bit heavier towards the vehicles. Maybe some folks are trying to lift items on top of the vehicles around you, and a helping hand helps there, so you lend that hand. And Sam, as you look towards the command center that originated around the center of where the camp was established, you'll see that much of it has also been kind of cleaned up. Much of the kind of tarps that covered overhead, creating kind of makeshift hallways, seem to have already been taken down, put away. What you see instead are very kind of FBI van looking RV-esque, right? Long kind of command center vehicles. There's 3 of them that seem to be lined up next to each other. There's more militaristic looking folk that are moving in and out of them. And you catch a glimpse of Luca coming out of one and running southward as well.
Are those vehicles open with like stuff in them?
The vehicles do have a side door open, but as you approach and look inside, there are quite a few individuals that are stacked within, looking at monitors, papers on tables and counters, and they seem to be kind of in their own little flurry.
I'm looking for 3 things.
Yep.
A map of the place, the manacle that we gave over to them,
Oh,
and
the
then
mandible.
booze. Mandible, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we gave over to them, and then booze in that order.
Okay.
Mandible, booze.
At
All
least you put booze third. I'm at least happy with that.
Give me a perception roll as you kind of walk about in the rough area where the command vehicles are. Ooh, 19.
19.
Very nice. All right. And then, so what you find as you kind of look about, walk around, peek inside, you'll find that one vehicle seems to be mostly soldiers. They seem to be communicating to one another about the readiness of the camp, what needs to be done before they depart, and looking inside, you don't really spot anything of value. Moving on to the next one, you see that in the back, Cedar is looking over a table, bunch of papers splayed out, a couple of soldiers that are wandering in and out and about. But behind Caden on a chair, you will find that there is his bag, and sticking out of it, the mandible.
Cedar, not Caden.
Did I say Caden? Yes, Cedar is who I'm referring to, leader of the camp, one of the leaders of the camp. And
Okay.
peeking into the last vehicle, you will spot that this one looks a bit more... This one looks to be more like a trailer. And inside, you hear the voice of Banuk talking with somebody. But when you peek into the door, you look at the opposite end where Banuk's voice is not coming from, and you will find there is a familiar looking cooler sitting near the door.
Decisions. So I see a
What up,
mandible and a
Zaki?
cooler, right? Of the three things of interest, those are two I see.
Those are the two things that you'll spot just kind of scouting around, looking for the items that you're looking for.
Okay, I try to go get the mandible.
All right. Stepping into the vehicle with Cedar. As you step in, it takes a couple steps to get up. And when you go to shimmy over to where Cedar is looking at papers, you find that what is splayed out are several pages kind of positioned in a way to create a makeshift map of the area. Very rough. It looks like it was hand drawn. And currently there is a little weight that sits in an area that looks very familiar to your surroundings of the surrounding terrain. As you pass by, what is your stealth modifier?
Oh, I'm the sneakiest. Let's see. +0.
+0. All right. Okay. As soon as you approach the desk, and as your eyes wander, Sam, what are you doing here?
Sierra, we're helping pack up, but I just realized we don't know where you guys are going next. As we start to travel, it'd be a shame if we got lost.
Well, we're going to be heading southeast. It seems the storm, at least from what we can see. Banuk and I started to feel odd on our way back, and we noticed there seems to be that storm brewing to the west, where we had come from. I'm a bit confused why there's a second one in the same location so soon. I've never seen that happen before, but we're gonna be heading away from it.
Well, as you know, me and my team aren't familiar with the area. Is there any way you could transfer the coordinates to my Omni device?
We don't have. I don't think I have a way to transfer to your device, but there shouldn't be a problem. Just find space in one of the vehicles, and our guys will bring you with us. Once we get.
You have a map you could hand us, something, or do a quick drawing or something.
No. What we do is we have, once we're ready, once myself and Banuk are able to confirm the camp is ready to go, we'll take the helm, we'll lead the others away, and the caravan will simply follow us. So,
I look at the makeshift map he's looking at. Isn't this a map? But just, so we're heading in this general direction, and I point somewhere in the southeast direction.
Yeah. So pointing to the map, he also confirms kind of what you're looking at and points, well, we're here, and the storm seems to be here.
As he looks and points at the map, can I try to grab the mandible?
Give me a sleight of hand.
Come on, Sam. No,
19 or
not,
15.
not bad.
Yeah. As Cedar is explaining, you kind of step up next to him, feigning to pay attention, but one of your arms, away from his peripherals, reaches back and fishes for where his bag is on the chair, and you find it, and you reach up, you find the mandible, and you slowly pull it out of his bag, and it is now in your hand.
All right.
As he...
I slowly back out and I say, "Well, all right, I got where we're going, and well, I hope try to pack up, and we'll see you guys later. Drive safe." And I turn around and rush out.
Okay. Give me a stealth roll.
Is he taking the beer on the
And how are you hiding the mandible?
I mean, it was behind my back, and I guess as I turn around, I put it in front of me.
He looks like a guilty child with that thing, probably.
All right. Well, as you quickly turn around and head out, Cedar looks up briefly at you as you're telling him that you got it, and you're kind of backing away towards the door, and his attention a bit frazzled. Just, all right, well, we should be ready soon. I think we'll be done here in maybe another 20 minutes. That should give us plenty of time to get away. And his attention quickly goes back to his maps.
He missed it.
I don't turn around. I keep walking straight out.
And you get out.
I don't even respond. I just go.
Yep, you get out. You get out, and his attention seems to be glued back to his papers.
Sorry, are we done there?
Yeah, I may get my way back to the vehicle.
All right.
I'm gonna put the mandible in like my pack though as I'm running.
Okay. And Dario, you're helping. Okay, actually, so hold on. So Maxine and Koji, you're helping the camp folk. And Dario, Caden, as you guys are loading boxes into the trunk, the limited trunk of the vehicle you guys are next to, and maybe even a couple items up on the hood, give me a D20 roll each.
Oh wow, double 14.
All right, interesting. Double 14.
That's gotta be good.
Yeah.
You get an extra dice.
All right.
14. That would have been so good. I just wanted to see if it happened.
All right, you guys are loading up a few boxes. You get your vehicle loaded up in the time that, by the time you leave, you'll have the vehicle fairly loaded up. Now, Sam, you'll return to the others, and mandible in hand.
Out of curiosity, how many people could this vehicle fit again? Like with the trunk load and everything, how many people could it sit?
This vehicle,
or was there extra seats?
There's seat space for 7 people in this vehicle.
And there's 6 of us, so we can pick up 1 person.
Yeah, maybe you could even squeeze in another one. There's again pretty limited trunk space, but you also have.
It's on someone's lap in an emergency.
Yeah.
So Sam is back with us now.
Sam is back with you all. Yep.
So Sam, what did you find?
They have booze. I couldn't grab any. And I do pull out the mandible and I said,
"Oh,
but did you get this?"
Nice. I actually did want that thing back. I felt a little cheap when I took that thing.
Well, I think those spoiler things, they are somehow connected to all this a lot more than we know. And this mandible, this is the closest thing we have to them. To figure out what they are.
Well, let's hope that it gets lost in the shuffle.
I know they're going a southeast direction from us. They believe that that's away from the storm.
Do
you all remember the other town they were talking about? Not Edgerton, but the other spot where there may be a ship?
Maybe a ship at the other one? I only know of 2. There's Edgerton and then there's Fontaine. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, that's all I could remember.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Fontaine is south of us, right?
I honestly don't know. I'm different.
Caden, give me a history roll with disadvantage.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't remember shit.
Yep. Nope. Sure. Yeah, it's south. Sounds good. Sounds about right. Yeah, and once we get this vehicle packed up, I'm gonna hop in. Like, I probably shouldn't drive. I don't know how to drive. Who can drive stick here? Anyone?
Or,
Don't
I
know how
mean,
to
I could
drive?
probably do it. I mean, I drove the other one that they put me on. They're roughly the same vehicle.
You stalled it, didn't you?
Still drove it.
Sure, you can drive. Everyone pile in once we're done loading up.
All right. Well, as the camp continues to buzz in a flurry, and as in the nearby distance, you all see Maxine and Koji lending a helping hand. You all continue to discuss what to do next, and we're going to take a quick break here. Go top off beverages. I have a biohazard to deal with, and
Biohazard.
we'll see you all in a couple minutes. All right. We are back, waiting for a couple members to make their way back as well. But we should be back here very shortly. All right. While we're waiting, let me see if I can't get that other image loaded up. I'm not sure why. What got pulled? See here.
All right, I'm back.
I'm back.
All right. And then we're just waiting on, I believe, Corey to get back with his drink. Let's see, where did I put it? So the image of the ocean I shared a second ago, that was this one, right? I think it was.
Yes.
Do you have multiple images of this ocean?
Yeah, I had a couple that I was debating between. Because again, we're using AI generated artwork here for this campaign. So it's easy to find inspiration from something generated, right? But trying to generate something for something that's already been mentioned is a bit of a challenge sometimes to get the look that I have in mind. So, but
Well, with the magic of YouTube, I confirmed it is the same image.
nice. All right.
I am back.
Cool. All right. With everyone back, let's get back into it. So currently, the party is deciding what they should do. Between currently, we have Maxine and Koji helping out folks within the camp, getting vehicles loaded up. As maybe 20-25 minutes passes, things are looking pretty packed up. A bunch of the camp was already packed up while you guys were rushing your way back to rejoin with everyone. And Sam managed to go into where the command center was within this camp, towards the center, and retrieve the mandible that they had originally used to gain entry to this group. And at the moment are positioned beside a vehicle that I think a few of them are considering what to do with.
I walk up to Maxine. Hey, Maxine, with your camera, can you snap some photos of this mandible in case we lose it a second time? I'd like us to have some photo evidence that we can share and look at and research.
Maxine, you're close enough where Sam would find you and be able to call you over for that.
I'll take the mandible and just kind of start turning it over and trying to get different angles and grab some pictures.
How artistic is Maxine? Does Maxine need the perfect lighting? Just
like I'm specifically trying to get a shot at like where it connected previously to see if there, anyone who knows anything about bug stuff might be like, oh, that's a strange way that is, and stuff like that. Just trying to get as much detail as I can.
Sure. Yeah. For the most part, I think my original description of it was much like that inner mouth of the Alien franchise. So just kind of tear that out of the insectoid's mouth. Think of maybe a bit of a combination of the mandibles, the appearance of a spider or a crab fused with the alien inner mouth.
Gross.
Yeah. All right, Maxine, you snap a few photos, and the camp, most of the vehicles, after a bit more time, begin rolling over, getting kind of lined up in, I guess, convoy formation. And it's around this time that the command center vehicles begin to start closing up as well. And out of one vehicle, you see Banuk charge out, surrounded by a group of other soldiers wearing very similar garb to what he was wearing, heading northward towards the vehicles where you all are. And then you see a moment later, Cedar pokes his head out, passing a word over to Banuk, and then Cedar remains in his vehicle as the three command vehicles begin to now roll out and position themselves in the front of the pedestrian vehicles. But Banuk storms by, barking orders, telling people to get ready, telling everyone to get saddled up, telling everyone to check their gear, and that they'll be setting out very soon.
We'll see if we are, but I was hoping we'd be loaded up before that. Ideally, my hope was that we'd be loaded up and ready to go before someone else comes through this vehicle, and they'll just let us drive it. We'll see.
At the moment, right, vehicle, you guys, between yourself and Dario, you'll get your vehicle loaded with boxes of who knows what's inside. But with that, most of the people around you that were getting ready as people begin to kind of shuffle towards the vehicles that they're going to be using. The vehicle that you're all standing next to, people are not approaching it, assuming, they're not approaching the vehicle that you guys are all surrounding, and most people seem to be otherwise paying attention to Banuk at the moment. But you guys are all there, and in a brief moment later, as people seem to be getting to their positions, Koji, you'll also return to where the others are.
Pile in, guys. Let's mount up.
Alright, climb right in.
Who's driving?
And as Banuk is barking orders, some of the vehicles around you, all of all but a couple of the motorcycles begin to roll out as well, positioning and heading in the direction towards the front of the caravan.
I'm gonna take up a spot in like the back middle seat, kind of where I was, kind of not in the way of anyone ideally. And I'm gonna close my eyes again and try and discern whether their prediction of the storm's direction is correct. Again, I might not be able to, but we'll try.
Yeah, give me an Arcana with disadvantage, and while you're doing that, is everyone else also entering the vehicle? Is someone waiting?
Yeah, if it's go time, I'm gonna mount up.
Yeah, I'll get in driver's seat.
All right.
I'll scoot the seat forward.
With
Oh, quick! Find him some blocks.
with a northward orientation on the game, and Sam in the driver's seat. I don't think we have any Europeans in the group here, so he'll be on the left side. But go ahead and position yourselves to where you want to be for this. Let me go ahead and I'm just going to move all you guys down for a moment here.
What happened? I moved.
The game is paused.
Oh,
Yeah, we're paused.
sorry. Yep. So Sam will be again in the driver's seat, orientation north, and you guys pile in.
I'm gonna put a hand on the wheel and look at Sam and say, "Did you learn to drive in a war zone?"
Not particularly war, but
Move over.
I've. Yeah, let's get over.
All right.
I'll climb into the driver's seat.
Okay, Maxine, do you have land vehicle proficiency?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good.
Thank
All
God,
right.
we're not gonna have whiplash by the time
I'm gonna look over at Sam and say, "I did."
Nope, good enough reason for me.
Meanwhile, she crams into the seat that he just scooted forward.
Now that I'm in the passenger seat, I take my flask out and take a swig.
At least you didn't drink and drive. I'll give you that.
Designated drunk passenger. Let's go. All right. Now,
I guess you're in music, Sam. You're the you're the passenger.
Maxine, vehicles are rolling out. There's a few left behind. Banuk is still kind of there next to the vehicle with the gun on the back, the gun on mounted, and most soldiers have begun to usher into the vehicles. As any of you looking out, look about among the camp, you'll see kind of the remnants of where vehicles had parked. You'll see tire marks everywhere. You'll see a little bit of left behind kind of scrap metal here and there. But otherwise, it's pretty night and day. Things have packed up quite nicely, and it looks like these guys are used to being on the move like this, from what you've been able to tell, and with the quick efficiency that they packed up pedestrians and soldiers together. And with that, Maxine, what do you do? Vehicles are leaving, a couple are behind. Where do you go?
I'm gonna start moving with the pack.
All right. The pack will posture themselves in front and around the front of the convoy, kind of creating a semicircle in front of the command vehicles, with the pedestrian vehicles all lined up in kind of 2 by however many long formation.
I'm definitely making sure I am in some manner kind of on the outside. I haven't ever coordinated with these people, so I can't account for what they might do, and I want to make sure if it comes down to it, I have room to maneuver and a way out.
So you want to try to be on the ends, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the vehicles, they are all facing currently eastward, a little bit angled south, and you will have the option to roll up on the right side of the convoy's direction of travel or on the left side. Right side being south side, left side being north side.
Go right side.
Right side. Okay. All right. All right. So once again, let's very briefly here draw this out. So camp has now been disassembled. Go ahead and move the party marker kind of here to the center. And currently, what you all see before you, where did I draw this? There we go. We don't need that anymore. And what you all see ahead of you is going to be, again, a bit of a semicircle created by the convoy. You have various, again, motorcycles and more Humvee-like vehicles up in the front. You have 3 command vehicles posturing in the middle, and then you have a trail of, again, many vehicles kind of behind the group. And you are all currently positioned right on the right end. I guess I should have rotated the whole thing, but again, orientation for the convoy is going to be currently southeast. I'm mixing up my easts and wests. All right. With that, however, Banuk in the gunner vehicle will also pull up in the front of the group, creating the spearhead. And once that vehicle pushes forward, the entire convoy follows behind them and begins to roll out as a huge cloud of dust begins to form behind and around the rear of the entire group. Now with this, the convoy currently is heading mostly westward, heading further away from the increasing diameter of the sparks in the sky behind you all.
Eastward?
Eastward, yes. Did I say west again?
Uh-huh.
God damn, what is this? All right, yes. Eastward. And gradually begins to head in a southern angle. At this time, Maxine, are you going to continue in position? Formation.
Yeah, I'm sticking with their formation as much as I can right now.
Okay. The storm continues to grow. You guys continue to ride for what feels like a good hour passes as you get far, far south and east. As you travel and across the span of the hour, all of you who had felt goosebumps and raised hairs slowly feel it begin to decrease as time goes on, as you gain distance and time passes. Caden, you're particularly sensitive to it. Koji, as are you, and Dario, you're not as familiar with the feeling, but you do, upon occasional, noticing a change of increased comfort, less discomfort, right? You also occasionally will notice that, hey, my skin is not standing on ends anymore. And slowly, as you get further and further away, the caravan begins to slow as Banuk's vehicle up at the front begins to slow down. A arm outstretched in a kind of stop position in a fist, directing the convoy behind him to slow as the other vehicles begin to kind of convey that message through hand gestures, and a few of them slowing down on their own accords as well. And eventually, an hour away, several miles away, the convoy stops, takes a bit of a break as Cedar steps out amongst others who mostly stay close to their vehicles but are nearby, and also the airship hovering a bit of a distance ahead of you all, but in still the direction of travel. Everyone has a brief moment to discuss and look about as Banuk steps out and goes to where the command vehicles are to meet Cedar.
What do you guys think is going on? Why do we slow down? Why do we stop?
Maybe they think we're far enough from the storm, and maybe they're gonna set up camp here.
Is that it? That wasn't so bad.
Yeah, we didn't actually get hit by the storm, though.
You think it's gonna get worse?
I think we're fine now, but if we had actually gotten caught by the storm, who knows what would have happened.
All right. As you guys are talking in the vehicles and looking outside, you again to the west, up in the sky, far in the distance, a growing mass of energy arcing through the aurora borealis, as well as occasional flashes of lines perpendicular to the ground, shocks of energy striking the space between the skies and the land itself. You also will spot that Banuk and Cedar have completed their conversation. They both spread out to other soldiers, Cedar mostly talking to others around the command vehicles, whereas Banuk makes his rounds towards the other, what's the word, militarized vehicles, the Humvees and motorbikes and such. And at some point, Banuk approaches where your vehicle sits, and Maxine in the driver's seat will spot Banuk approaching pretty easily. And you also will spot a gesture where Banuk, when he's looking around and you make what you think is eye contact with Banuk, he stops mid-step just for a split second, but your perception's high enough where you notice, and continues to stride towards your vehicle. As he approaches, he will then knock on the window.
Crank the window down.
Yeah, I'll drop the window.
As you drop it down, he doesn't say anything at first, but looks a bit more inside into the back. And are you all here in this vehicle alone?
As far as I'm aware.
I'll have to talk to my boys, but are you guys good here?
What's happening?
Well, we felt the energy on in the air begin to lessen. We think we got packed up in a bit of a hurry, and a lot of the other folk are a bit frazzled. We figure a brief little moment to give everyone some time to breathe and spread some relief that I think we've gotten ahead of the storm. Should ease some of everyone's worries. We might be departing here soon again. Once we get an idea how the storm will grow, we'll have a better idea if we need to continue eastward or if we are able to venture southward like we had planned. Looking around, and Maxine, you'll notice Banuk's eyes lingering behind him for a brief moment, his gaze not visible, but he turns back. Would you mind if I asked Luca to join you all? I think it would be helpful to have one of our boys with you all here.
I don't see why not.
Is there any space?
Yeah, there's one spare seat.
The back seat where Caden is a 3 wide.
I'm literally lounging back here.
Yeah.
I got 3 seats to myself.
Yep. All right. Well, we're gonna give everyone maybe 10 minutes. I'm gonna go back and talk with Cedar. We'll see if the storm grows this way or if it's going to stretch south or northward instead. But keep on your toes. And Banuk leans his head in the window slightly. Is Caden back there too?
I pop up like I was lounging on the couch, like I was laying over. Yo.
Do you feel anything?
Close my eyes and check.
You, with your roll earlier as well.
There was a 5.
No, this again. Not sure why some give you a feeling, some don't. This one is not doing it, but you definitely do feel the tingling on your arms had receded.
Yes, I remember that. So, the feelings died down. I don't feel anything impending. There's still the light buzz that it's nearby, but for now we seem like we're in the clear.
Banuk looks like he's going to say something and purses his lips. And a split fraction of a moment later, I see. Well, if you notice anything, let us know. This has been an unusual set of events. His head turns westward again, looking in the direction of the storm. Lingering there longer than a few seconds, turns back. I've never seen storms strike in quick succession like this.
Were you around Edgerton just after the cleansing? There was multiple storms at once.
As I was gonna say, it's been a long time since I've last seen it. Edgerton was worse than this, but
yes,
the thought of multiple storms spurring up is an anomaly that I hope
hasn't happened since the cleansing.
I
referenced earlier.
His eyes harden, looking back at you. I'm not looking forward to another series of events like the cleansing. I hope this doesn't become one. His eyes again trail off and his voice trails off. But he recovers quickly, slapping the side of the vehicle, making a thump. I'm gonna go continue making my rounds, talk to a few of the residents, make sure everyone's spirits are good, and by then we'll head out, and I'll go let Luca know that he can grab a seat here. He was kind of crammed in one of the other vehicles. And with that, Banuk walks off, heading to the opposite end of the Humvees and bikes, and then not long later heading towards the other vehicles behind the command vessels, or the command vehicles. But you are all left alone once again.
For some reason, I just imagined his face smushed up against the glass. Just slammed into a vehicle.
I'm gonna bring the window back up, throw my mask on, and just say, if someone can cause these things, then multiple happening in close proximity it's not surprising. If someone can cause it, then it can happen whenever, presumably.
Yeah, something like this hasn't happened for like 15, 20 years, though. I don't know the exact number. I can't remember. It was a while ago. Whenever Edgerton was, I've lost track of the years.
I lean over to kind of look at the dashboard to see if I can see how much, I guess, fuel is left in the vehicle.
Runs on double A's.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Flintstone feet. You use your feet to kind of push it.
The vehicle, as you lean up and kind of look over Maxine's shoulder towards the dash, you will spot that the fuel gauge, though a bit dusty, you seem to see a marker that is kind of wiggling in the 2/3 in the favor of being full.
Well, Maxine, I guess at least we have enough for a little bit longer of a ride.
Out of curiosity, oh, sorry. Go.
I think we can't settle down. We've got a purpose here, and I think our target has to be this Ignis. Best lead we've got that could be related if these catastrophes and the core are connected in some way. If it's some immense source of power, what's a greater sign of power than any of that? And if they're happening more frequently, then this person has got to have some sort of lead. They must be on something.
Do you think?
Oh, sorry.
Do you think we'll get any closer to finding Ignis if we stick around with Banuk's group?
Their method of survival is fleeing these storms, which logical, but it's if the storms are related to our hunt, then we can't keep running away from it. We have to find some way to face it. And if we're rooted by staying with these people, we can't be out doing what we need to do. We do want to keep them as an ally.
Yeah,
We just cut and run. It's just going to make things worse on Aurora Group.
I 100% agree. I say we ride either to the next destination. We get out of the vehicle with Luca. We unload the vehicle and drive off with it. We'll leave them their stuff, but no? Yes?
I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I think, like Maxine mentioned, don't want to rock the ship right now, especially since we're not going to have a lot of places to run if we end up taking one of their vehicles.
Yeah, that might burn that bridge, though, if we're trying to keep friendly.
Yeah, especially if we're going to have Luca with us right now.
Well, again, we're not going to drive off till we unload and not take their shit, because that'd piss them off even more. I don't know what we took, but we got a lot of crap back there.
I think when we get a chance to stop, long term, when they're ready to make camp again, we have a bit of a meeting with Banuk or Cedar or both. We've done good for their camp. We might be on our way or have already done enough to justify some recompense.
Okay, that's alright with me. And as to one of your earlier questions, I don't think we'll find Ignis sticking around with Banuk and Cedar and...
As you're in the middle of saying all this, Caden, there's a knock against the window of the vehicle as Luca is there.
I love how we just all look over at the window and he's knocked on and no one says anything. We're just staring.
But seeing that the front is full, he makes his way to the side door and tries to open it up.
I'll open the door from the inside for him.
Seat's taken.
What's the password?
Well, looks like we all made it through what could have been a bad time. How are we all doing? As Luca is looking a little frazzled still, but less so.
We're surviving. I've just been thinking about that ocean.
No third arm?
Yeah, that was quite something. You wouldn't happen to be able to pull up that picture again, would you?
I'll bring it up and I'll just... I'm gonna put it into, like, if I can put it in some sort of, like, you know, I'll make the ocean picture my lock screen. I'll lock my visor and just hand it to him.
Okay. You hand over the visor, he puts it on, and you got it, just kind of the view of the ocean there. And he fumbles with it initially, but seeing how, you know, it's pretty obviously a visor, he puts his eyes up to it, sees it, it's like, oh, this is incredible.
You know, the mountains that looked like waves. I was thinking, what if part of going back to that theory I had, something fell from space that was some sort of reactive thing to these storms, crashed into the ocean, making huge waves, and then in that moment, it completely petrified everything with one of these storms.
Honestly, that's completely possible.
I mean, why else would the mountains look like waves?
There'd have to have been several things falling planet side for that to be the case. These salted lands, which, if they are all in fact just petrified ocean, they're scattered about. We've traveled across a couple way back, and we've driven by a few as well, but they seem sporadic to me. And if things were falling planet side, I mean, that's only started recently.
Would think it's something that would have been noticed, but I mean, after everything went down, who's to say, you know? Communication lines and all, a lot harder to keep track.
Yeah, Luca's kind of vibing in the backseat. His head's kind of leaning back, just staring through the visor. But he's definitely sounding much more relaxed. And, well, when I was at Fontaine, which none of these changes happened until what we heard of at Edgerson. I think I mentioned that I could see the skies turn red far in the distance where Edgerson would have been. And after I heard the news, half the city was destroyed, burned in fire. The population there was completely flipped upside down. I've heard rumors of people being able to cause disaster, to stir up unexplainable things. But I've never witnessed any of it myself outside of these storms. It was bad back then. I don't remember anything falling from the sky leading up to it, but all this started with what occurred at Edgerson as far as the stories and rumors I've heard.
It's a lot to think about.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Banuk especially seems a bit frazzled right now. I don't really know why, but...
Because he was there.
And with that comment, Luca tilts his head down and in your direction as he slowly raises the visor. You mean at Edgerson?
Yes.
Well, that seems to be the case, but what does that have to do with this?
They're similar. The storms like this haven't been as bad since just around when the cleansing happened, just after. They're connected somehow.
But Edgerson is so far from here. I mean, it's way up there, and he's kind of gesturing in the northeastern direction. I mean,
the city didn't burn itself down. Someone burned it down.
Someone?
Yes.
Who?
Ignis.
How do you know this? I've heard rumors from Banuk that there was someone that he used to work under who changed, and I'd hear him scream at night sometimes. It has lessened nowadays, but back when Banuk first joined us, he would sometimes scream, and we would hear the name Ignis throughout the camp, and Banuk's cries of frustration. It was a bit haunting back then, but at the time we didn't really have much of a choice, and well, Banuk has pulled through quite a bit for us. But you talk of this Ignis as if you've met them or seen them.
I've not met them, but I've heard of them. They were local legend in Edgerson.
Is it? I really hadn't heard that term until after the catastrophe started to happen.
Well, in Edgerson, not Fontaine.
Oh, I suppose that's a good point. Fontaine is... I wonder if I'll ever see my home again. And he looks kind of longingly northward, but around this time, you all hear vehicles begin to hum around you as Banuk is outside, kind of shouting. And Luca looks around, spots Banuk. Well, looks like it's been time, and we're going to be heading out. You all ready?
Ready as we're gonna be.
All right. Luca, looking nervous again, sits back, puts the visor back down, takes a deep exhale, and before we set out, you guys all will see the vehicles begin to hum, people getting back into the vehicles. Excuse me. And not long later, Banuk's vehicle begins to push forward. Maxine, you'll see the supporting vehicles inching forward as they begin to follow. And the command vehicles and the rest of the caravan begin to follow. With
Start moving with them.
Okay. With continuing the path forward, you do spot that many of the vehicles do seem to curve continuing southward now, as Banuk, leading the group, seems to be directing the convoy in that southern direction. This goes on for maybe another hour, as it took you a few hours to get back to the camp, with a few hours to depart and maybe half to prepare. It's pushing probably later in the day at this point. But after another hour of a fairly calm drive, looking westward, you will see that the storms in the distance have begun to widen. How far they reach towards you is a bit less clear, as it's difficult to gauge the distance. But the storm certainly seems to be growing larger, as again, arcs of energy in the sky really kind of highlighting the diameter of what the storm is able to reach, and the lightning strikes along the surface indicating a bit of frequency of violence of the storm, continuing to again slowly grow in time throughout the day, but not quite as bad as what you had seen far to the north when you had first arrived at the camp and there was a storm brewing in the distance. That was a bit much more like thunderstorm-esque. But with that, vehicles kind of fan out, begin making a bit of a circular position, or positioning themselves in a circular manner. The command vehicles kind of form a bit of a makeshift H in the center. A lot of the other supporting vehicles kind of surrounding, again, the northern half of the setup, and people begin to roll out and unpack and set up a not unloading everything, but they're unloading enough to kind of set up camp, is what you all seem to be witnessing. And with that, Luca looks to the rest of you, pulling the visor off once the vehicles stop. Are we stopping again?
Seems to be the case.
Looks like we're setting up camp here. All right. Well, I better get to it. Thank you, Maxine, as he hands you back the visor. That helped. It's been a while since I've been able to relax like that. Maybe not the best time for it, but it's appreciated.
We'll find a printer one of these days. Get you a nice poster made.
A printer. Maybe a city will have one of them. Really should have grabbed one of those when we left Fontaine. Who would have thought I'd be missing a printer? He gives you a chuckle. And with that, Luca kind of shimmies between Dario and the seat and gets out, hopping out to the ground. We'll see you all in a bit. I think once everyone's packed up, Banuk will want to speak with most of us, and I think he'd be willing to speak with you all then as well. If anything, maybe we could use a lending hand again. Maxine, the other soldiers that were, don't tell them I told you this, but most of them have been thankful of the few notes that you're able to give them. And Caden, I wasn't aware that you spoke with my sister.
Sister Samantha?
Yeah, Samantha. She said that you had helped them and did some good work with the fabrics that we had to stitch back together. I appreciate that help.
You're welcome. I had no idea she was your sister. I fixed a bunch of clothes, like that shirt. That actually is Maxine wearing the shirt I gave her?
Probably not actively. I feel like I probably haven't really considered changing too much in the last few days or so.
Yeah,
It's been busy. Been a lot going on.
Yeah, I helped her with mending a bunch of clothes.
Was she the one you were flirting with?
No.
Ah, alright. Must have been another one.
Yeah, that was someone else. How does Luca react to that? Dragon?
Oh, what the hell? I guess I double muted. Yeah. So, Luca, at the comment, looks kind of mouths out flirting, and looks between Koji and Caden. Looks like he's about to say something, and closes his mouth. It looks like he's going to say it again. Closes his mouth. Sorry to tell you this, but Sammy's a widow.
I wasn't flirting with her. He hasn't even met her.
Well, she seemed to say good things about you, so if you see her, maybe say hi to her again. It's been a while since I saw her smiling and talking about somebody. It's odd that I managed to pull her into this caravan. She had flown out to Stillwater quite a few years ago when she married, and I hadn't seen her for a long time, but when the catastrophes hit, I'm glad I reached out to her. So she means a lot to me, and he seems to have a bit more of a serious glare than his tone portrays, but Caden gives you a solid once over.
I'll just like nod at him, I guess. Head nod. Yep.
But with that, Caden reluctantly, keeping eyes on Caden until he's out of view, backs away and nods to the rest of you as he makes his way to help others unpack a few things.
I'm gonna help unload. Just kind of take boxes or whatever we have in our back.
Okay. The rest of you?
Yeah, I will do the same. Also looking at what exactly we were packing, kind of like being a little curious on what we packed.
So you're gonna open a few of the
Basura.
boxes?
What was that?
Are you opening a few of the boxes?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He's looking for booze, we know it.
Give me a D20, Dario.
I'm gonna
And-
have to jump into
It's a Horizon
help
computer
unload
part.
as well.
All right.
Result 6.
And who am I missing? Koji and Sam.
I said I was helping unload. I'm not looking
You
for
are.
anything specific, but yeah.
I'll help unload as well.
Okay. You guys are all quickly, with the 5 of you, unloading. Dario, you open one of the boxes and you find within what looks to be a bunch of clothes. There seems to be some shirts folded up and tossed into the corner. There seems to be some kind of a blanket or two that are on the other end, and there's like a jacket thrown on the top of it. But all of them pretty basic looking.
Are they all in good shape or are they beat up?
No, these seem to be in wearable shape. A couple of the shirts seem to have some stitch marks for where they've been patched up, but the blankets are blankets, and they all seem to be in relative one piece.
Okay.
Gaten,
Yes.
back in the tunnels, you had this ability to clean yourself. Could you help a technician out?
What are you looking for? Sorry, I'm confused. Clean stuff?
Yeah. I mean, you cleaner than the rest of us.
I take good care of myself, yeah.
But it was like a moment.
I'm huh?
I thought maybe it was something special you did.
No.
Caden, give me. It's deception, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a deception.
It's very public. He feels like he's on the spot.
Sam, what's your
I
modifier?
specifically
Actually,
would like to kind of pay
Which
attention
modifier?
to this exchange.
Sam,
Which modifier?
your insight
Percent-
modifier,
insight, yeah,
actually.
Insight +2.
You believe Caden at face value. Maxine, you can also give me a perception first, as you try to listen in as you're helping, and give me a insight with disadvantage. And Maxine, you also are just kind of overhearing the conversation, taking it at surface value. But Caden, you you guys are.
Yeah, like
All right.
I'll. Yeah, no, not yet.
I'm
He's probably just
gonna
using dry
turn
shampoo.
around and I'm gonna shrug my shoulders a bit and go, huh? I guess he's just a clean fella.
It's like so public. I'm uncomfortable.
You feel naked when you.
Performance anxiety.
You feel naked when you got to show it in front of others.
Yeah, performance anxiety. I need a blue pill.
All right. Well, unfortunately, Sam, you must have misremembered, or you saw something and thought differently, or you're a little confused at. You could have sworn your memory's pretty dang good. With that, actually, as you're mulling it over, stepping away, give me a history roll.
And actually, as he walks away, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna subtle cast it, and no one should notice, other than the fact that he'll be clean.
Yeah.
15.
Sam, you're in particular just a little confused. You're like, pretty damn sure you know what you saw.
Must have been the wind.
And Caden, what are you trying to do here?
I am doing it. I'm just not doing.
What are you
anything
doing,
fancy.
though?
As he walks away, I'm gonna clean him off. Basically, I'm gonna subtle spell prestidigitate him. So if he notices, he'll be clean.
I'm not
But-
looking.
Yeah, and also, how long? I don't recall what the size of the cleaning was. Wasn't it pretty
It's like
small?
5 foot or something like that.
Yeah. So you're gonna just
It's a
subtly,
1 cubic foot.
you're gonna
1 cubic
subtly
foot.
just dust off a couple
What
locations.
part of your body do you clean first?
His face.
Okay.
All right,
Okay, cool. As long as we know what priorities are.
Sam,
Yeah, it's
as you
like
turn
the top of
around,
his head to like maybe the top of his shoulders. It's gonna look so bad. There's gonna be like a dirt line.
yeah, Sam, the as you turn away from Caden, the dust just kind of falls off of your face. Probably gets stuck in your beard a bit, looking a little dusty. But your skin is otherwise looking pretty dang fresh.
I mean, I can't see my.
You
face,
can't.
so-
No, you're none the wiser.
I love the best part of this is that Maxine is watching this conversation, and as Sam walks away, I imagine we're dirty from this storm that's driving this vehicle. So he literally will have like a dirt
That's
line
right.
across his shoulder blades.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Maxine, you're listening in. You're not observing
Yeah, a little
in.
more distracted actually unloading things.
Yeah. So, all right. You guys continue to offload. It doesn't take you very long. Maybe with the 5 of you again, maybe only like 10 minutes to get all these boxes off the hood, as well as the few out of the back. And the vehicle you all rode in is now emptied.
Sam, it didn't occur to me before. Can you just order a printer through your subscription?
A printer?
Yeah, just like a small printer. We could print out a photo.
I mean, a photo like on a piece of paper. I mean, then I'd have to get paper too. And then I'd have to get something to actually print it on the paper. So you're asking me for really 3 things?
I don't know the exact terms of your situation. So, is that a lot?
Yes, it's a lot. No, I can't do it.
All right.
And I keep muttering off,
Question?
order a printer.
Well, I guess that means I'm gonna drag you all along on a mission to find one.
Sam, quick player recap, just to make sure I'm remembering correctly. Sam, you acquired your Omnia device during your travels, after separating from the other technicians you had traveled with, right?
Yes.
And it is a foreign device to Sam, but the things that you have learned to use it for, you know how to. But those features that you don't know, Sam is likely ignorant to them. Does that sound right?
It came with apps installed, and I don't have a Google Play account.
Yeah. You got the iPhone with elderly mode turned on or something. All right, cool. Just wanted to make sure that point was on the same page. And the group, as you all continue to mull about, as everyone seems to be unloading and setting up, not to the, again, same extent as what the camp was when you had stumbled across it. It looks like they might have been there for a little while. But what you see instead is kind of a half deployed or quarter deployed caravan camp settlement that is just sufficient enough for, again, like camping out for the night. And with that, you hear a whistle in the distance, and you look kind of towards the center, and you see Luca standing outside, kind of part way out of a door, looking in your direction, waving you all over.
Just as a note, I looked it up. A person is about 1.76 cubic feet, and so it requires 2 castings of the spell to clean someone. And I cast the second spell as well, and I took the resources out, so he's fully clean now.
Okay, that's fine.
Incredible.
All right.
Start making my way over.
Cool. Maxine, it's going to be at some point, because your perception's so gross, you will notice that when the hell did Sam clean himself up? And for that matter, compared to...
So just a quick note from my end, just to clarify. Samantha is Luca's sister, right?
Luca commented about Samantha, and, well, the conclusion was, yes, Samantha is Luca's sister.
Cool.
Who is widowed and lived in Stillwater, whereas Luca is from Fontaine.
Thank you.
All right. One of these days, I'll get NPC character pages for you guys to reference, but your notes are your notes. All right. With that, again, Luca kind of calling you guys over, waiting for you at the door, eyeing you all. And you're all just going to stand there. Okay, cool.
I making my way over. I mentioned that. Come on.
Oh, you did.
Get in. We should go see what he wants. Maybe he's gonna tear you a new one for his sister, Alblin, on your gob.
You haven't even met her!
You turn like bright red.
Huh?
A part of me likes it because it's like he is the technician of the group. He talks completely different from the group, and there's probably going to be cases where you're like, what the fuck did you just say?
That's exactly, I have no idea what he said.
All right, so several of you guys are walking over. The rest of you, unless you voice otherwise, will follow suit. And Luca kind of holds the opening into the, again, this little kind of command structure that these command vehicles created. And inside you will find that there's, again, that kind of dirt center of the vehicles that has been laid out with the cooler kind of off to the side. Banuk is standing there. Off on one end, you see Cedar standing near him. You see Luca there. You see Johnny kind of in the back. You see a few other soldiers scattered about. But it looks like there's going to be some kind of a brief that is the vibe you're getting from what's about the way everyone in here has a semi-serious, some of them a bit nervous looking, but otherwise it seems to be much of the more senior members of the camp are here.
I look around to see if there's a food and snack table.
There is definitely no food and snack table, but you do see a few people who are munching on what look to be like granola bars or something.
Gives me a good idea. I'm just gonna pull a granola bar out of one of my rations.
Same. Been a while since my character's eaten.
Yeah, that's probably a good point. We should all probably eat.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, feel free to take a moment, use up a ration, take a few bites, relax for a minute in the shade as they do have the tarp again in between the vehicles to create a bit of shade and cover. But with the group now rolling in, Banuk speaks up. Or not? You got something?
Sorry, no, just out of character. Rations have a 5-foot range.
What does?
I mean, I could be tossing food at people,
Have you had goldfish and like
like
pasta?
effectively, and it would just reach. I'm always gonna hit like throw popcorn in their mouth, and it always hits.
Maybe.
Also, just
Right.
as a note, while we're on it, everyone is proficient with this.
Yeah.
Sorry, that distracted me for a second.
No, you're good. You're good. These proficient rations, man. You gotta beware of them. All right.
Proficient in food.
Right? Unless you have a eating problem. But Banuk. All right, looks like everyone's here. Cedar, you give everyone the rundown on how things look and where we're heading. And with that, Cedar gives him a nod and kind of steps more center front. Looks like we've managed to get ourselves postured away from the storm. It also seems that it is growing a bit more towards the position of where we had stayed previously. Though the catastrophe is stretching eastward, I do think, and Banuk seems to agree, that we're on the outer edge, outside of reach of any danger. We're going to continue southwards, hopefully reaching the transmission that we had heard a while back about a refuge where storms are not hitting. Westward or eastward was an option, but our goal is the same. We want to see if we can't regroup with those who had claimed over the radio that they had found a safe spot that had no catastrophes. So we're going to continue onwards, and we might have a few more weeks to make it there, but looks like we're all safe, so we could all breathe a sigh of relief and let the others know as well. Good job, everyone.
If that at all fails,
What was that?
I said if that at all fails, I would say look for a cave. If you can find a cave system big enough to fit everyone, it doesn't matter if a catastrophe hits.
Banuk steps around Cedar. I think we've been over this. The caves won't be an option. Cedar had mentioned to me that you had all weathered out a storm in a cave, or at least one of you had. But we have too many people here. It'd be difficult for us to find a cave large enough, safe enough, and even then, we can't risk losing vehicles. You were there. You saw what happened to one of ours. If we lose these vehicles, that's our lifeline.
Not to mention, several of us saw mountains and caves get turned into an ocean.
You what?
Again, it's surface level. If you're deep enough, the storms can't reach you.
How can you be certain?
I waited out storms in caves before.
You mentioned that this is worse than other storms have been, though.
It's just more prevalent, not much. Like, it's the same thing. there's two of them are in quick succession, so the severity is greater. But even back when there was like, even 3 storms at once, you were still fine underground.
Luca speaks. How many storms have you been through? You're oddly calm for what just happened.
He's like, again, he starts like counting on his fingers, and then he runs out of fingers. A lot.
Banuk speaks up again, kind of addressing more of the group. Our new friend Caden here has expressed that he was there during the cleansing. He was near Edgerson as much as I was.
No, it was not as close as you were.
Regardless, Caden seems to have some experience in identifying early signs of the storm, much like myself and Cedar had learned to do, and several of you as he looks around to the group. His situation seems to have been a bit different than ours, but there seems to still be a lot of questions about the storms and where they're from, how they're caused, and why we're seeing. And his eyes kind of go into that 1,000-yard stare again. Why we're seeing a second storm in quick succession again.
Well, what was the cause of the first time?
His eyes, almost in a forgotten rage, slowly looks up to you, and his mouth seems to be struggling to find the words as you see it move in ways where it looks like he wants to say and he's struggling to hold it back, and he's pursing his lips, and his jaw is doing otherworldly things. But eventually, I don't know what's causing it, but if I had to take a guess, it'd be that blasted Ignis again. She was there during Edgerson. I don't think she's here, but it's the only time I've ever seen multiple storms. She was there. And I'm not about to go in there to find out, as he gestures in a direction.
That was like 10 years ago. She's been quiet since then.
That area was scouted out by some sort of flyer before the storms happened.
Banuk, almost in shock, or a shocked expression, turns to you, snaps to you, actually. The bird in the sky. You think that could have been from Edgerson?
I don't know their equipment well enough to know for certain, but between the sun and the distance, it was hard to get a clear look anyway, but clearly wasn't yours. Came from the east.
Maybe she's trying to close up loose ends. And he mutters that more than he says it out loud, but for those of you who would like to try to catch it, give me a perception roll.
Yo.
Oh my gosh. All right. Maxine and Dario, you'll both catch that under his breath as Maxine, with your nat 20, you'll even notice a few other members. Cedar being one of them. Johnny in the back kind of shuffles behind you where he's normally pretty quiet, that you catch. Dario, you'll definitely hear it, and you will spot Cedar's glance towards Banuk as he mumbles it. But the rest of you hear... You just hear like she, and he mumbles the rest. But
so I didn't hear it then. Okay, so I won't comment on it then.
Yeah, you did not with your 10.
Okay.
Yep.
If the people, if the embers, if they're assuming they're related to this Ignis, then it seems like that is public enemy number one. And unfortunately, you and your people are a little bit busy trying to survive, but with the right resources, the means to travel, my team think might be suited for looking into this.
Give me a persuasion roll.
Can I help him out?
You said nothing, so no.
I was gonna do something that wasn't. I was gonna cast suggestion.
Oh.
You can, sure, if you're gonna cast.
So again, I'll subtle spell it.
Okay.
So it requires 2 side points, sorcery points. Sorry. That's a little spell.
And what are you gonna say with your suggestion?
I was hoping that it would be what he said. I was just making him receptive to what.
You got to give me something more than that with
okay,
suggestion.
Okay. So, let's... yeah. Damn, you put me on the spot. I have to think of something off the spot.
You cast fucking suggestion, bro.
I know. Okay.
Man, the character and the player are the same.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah, indecisive, right? I think we can look into this. I know a little bit about Ignis. I've heard about her when we were at Edgerson. Out of everyone here,
hold on. So it's
Yeah,
suggestion,
sorry.
right? You just need one or
Yeah.
two sentences of what you're suggesting. That's all I need.
Oh yeah. So I was trying to like make some stuff.
Please monologue.
Yeah. I was. Yeah.
Somewhere in there, he casts suggestion subtly.
Yeah. If we take the vehicle, I think we can find Ignis.
Okay, that's enough. Yep. And I already rolled. No, that's a different roll. So, and your saving throw is a 13.
I believe so. Where does it say?
And Maxine, you fucking twice in a row.
I'd like to point out that I got 2 nat 20s in a row just now.
What is wrong with you?
Listen,
Maxine's still holding onto the keys. It's too...
All right. Well, with that, I'm gonna give. Okay, here's how we'll do it. I'm gonna give him disadvantage on the wisdom save for Caden assisting via suggestion, whereas you already made your case, and Banuk is taking that under consideration while suggestion takes place. So, with that. All right. You're suggesting that you will look into Ignis. It would be hard for me to recommend you do that. That person is chaos incarnate. She does whatever she wants and doesn't care for others. And I'm not about to put the others at risk. I've done that before and never again. I'm gonna keep these people safe.
That's not true. She doesn't do what she wants. There was a reason for what she did at Edgerson.
And what would that be?
The hellhole had become.
Listen, that person, no, that monster is tearing apart our world. I will stop them.
And as far as how, us losing a vehicle is going to be a tall order for us to let you go on some promise. I see more value if you would join us, help our caravan, help protect these people. You seem to want to protect the people of Aurora Green. You're a Dust Patriot. Why do this on your own? Why not help us in the way that we've been able to for years now?
Because you're addressing the outcome and not the cause. It's a band-aid fix. You can't run forever.
You can keep surviving. Or we could do this. We could succeed. and we can rebuild.
She will burn you all to ashes. I'm telling you. Maybe once upon a time you could have stopped her, but not anymore. Not after the cleansing. I don't even know if she's human anymore. And the others in the room are just silent, kind of looking about amongst themselves and considering, feeling like they don't really know how or what information they could add to this conversation. But Cedar in particular, and Maxine kind of being in a power position, you'll notice this. Cedar is looking right past you. And just with your spatial awareness, with your ridiculous perception, you'll know that the one she's looking at, or the one based on the voice you heard earlier, Cedar seems to be glued on Caden, as Banuk continues to plead with you that this is not the right choice. And you would have us sacrifice one of our vehicles, the potential well-being of others, so that you can do this. Are you that confident? You don't even know what you're up against, or who you're up against. Somehow, Cadence acts as though he knows her intentions, but I was there.
I know her intentions, but I was at Edgerton. I know what it had become.
So
My team has a lot of capability. We have Caden, who has this sense of the catastrophes, invaluable to an independent group. We have resources between a technician, between this guy. I'm going to point to Koji.
He's gonna kind of flex.
Short rips a little bit.
We have the expertise of Dario and his machines. We have my training and my corporate resources. I don't like it, but it's something that I can use to put an end to what is plaguing my world. And being human, humans aren't the only thing that can be put in the ground. This person isn't a god. This thing can and will die.
Cody's gonna look Banuk directly in the eyes, and you know more than you're letting on. Tell us what the fuck we're gonna fight, and we can kill it.
Koji, give me a persuasion with advantage.
Come on, flex hard.
Oh, I did disadvantage instead. Doesn't matter.
All right, 14 plus 1, so 15 would have been the result. Sound right? 14 plus, yeah, that should be right. 15, okay. All right. Banuk looks between the two of you, frustrated, frustration in his face. Turns once, half circle, quickly snaps back again, finger outstretched in the direction of Maxine before he shakes it in the air, drops it beside him, and heads towards that cooler and just slumps on it. Fine. Fine. The rest of you guys out. Get the others comfortable. Let them know what Cedar had mentioned. We're safe for now. We rest here for tonight. In the morning, be prepared to leave, but we'll send word based on what we feel and what we see. With that, the others slowly filter out of the room. Luca lingers for a moment, kind of looking at Maxine's back for those standing behind Maxine, you might notice, and makes his way out as well. Who's left in the room is the five of you. Banuk sitting on the cooler, and Cedar standing off to the side. Cedar chimes in. Banuk, if we were to consider this, and if these friends are successful, then the future of Aurora Green may slowly return to what it once was. Perhaps we should share what we know about Ignis. Or share what you know about Ignis. But before we do, his eyes turn back to the group and steal on Caden. You've mentioned Ignis in a tense that makes me believe that you also know more than you're letting on. We will tell you what you want to know, but I wish to hear what you have to say before we agree.
I'll tell you what I know.
He crosses his arms and gives you a bit of an I'm waiting gesture.
I don't imagine I know more than you.
Well, tell us
Ignis.
about Edrison then. Let's start there.
During this moment, I want to inch and make my way closer over to Banuk where he's sitting by the cooler. I just want to be near there.
Okay.
He's going for the beer. Out of curiosity, like, how are we arranged right now? So it's the 5 of us facing the 2 of them.
Let's
like,
do
across
this.
Each other?
Let's do this. So let's bring Banuk and Cedar's icons back. You guys are set up. So party marker will mark the center. Banuk is off to the side on top of the cooler. Cedar is a bit more center of group. I'm going to move that party token in a moment. So position yourselves even at the center of the group if you'd like.
So, sorry, they're on the one side, so I guess I'm just centerfold here looking at
Yeah.
them.
Is the entrance
You guys came in from
how the
an area
entrance-
down below. Yeah, so actually, you know what? Here, I'll just draw a quick little... This is the space. We got ourselves... Oh, how do I close that? Stop it. Oh my fucking god. Why?
If you
What's the button I need to push
double-click
here?
or something, does it do it?
Good enough. Yep.
I don't remember.
that helps though. All right, and then there is a door to one of the vehicles here. You guys came in from kind of a makeshift door this way, and then there's a caravan door here, and then another one this way. So vehicle. I know I said H earlier. We're gonna go with this view, and then we got the kind of makeshift fence on the south side. Close enough. I'll fix it next time. So with that, let's go ahead and move this party marker out of the way. And this is the current kind of setup of you all standing inside. And once again, Cedar is prompting Caden to start at Edrison.
Okay. Edrison, I grew up in Edrison. I've been there. I was born there. I was raised there. And when it was a nice city at one point, but it fell quite harshly into crime when I was younger. The Black Onyx, the Onyx Blossom had slowly over the years taken over the city. I'm gonna look really harshly at Banuk when I say that.
What the hell is the Onyx Blossom?
You don't know?
No,
You look like you should know.
I was just a soldier in Edrison. I worked under some, we'll call them ruthless leaders, but we helped keep the area safe. At least that was the plan.
Curiosity, did they
I
ever
put
have
my-
you do some sketchy thing late at night for a large sum of money?
What the hell do you think of the military?
Not the military, Edrison. That city was run by the Onyx Blossom by the end.
Onyx Blossom was a financial organization. They didn't run the city. The city has its own government.
I put my hand behind Banuk's back and say, "You may want to stand for this."
He's trying to get the beer still.
Give me a persuasion with advantage.
If he's nothing if not consistent.
15.
Yeah, without kind of really getting too distracted from the conversation, it tilts its head your direction, hears you, and then kind of stands up and walks closer towards the center of the group.
I'm waiting for the very emotional part of the story, and you just hear as he opens a beer.
But back to Onyx Blossom. Onyx Blossom dealt in funds. They ran charities. They helped organizations. Sure, they may have lobbied with the government, but which organization didn't? What makes you think that they were running things?
Because they were. What do you think money gets you? Gets you power.
You seem awfully convinced. I never saw or heard any business like this behind the scenes.
How long were you in Edgerson for?
We were in Edgerson for years. Again, I was part of the Edgerson military.
And how did you not notice then? They were running everything. They had bribed the politicians, the lawmakers.
At this point, Cedar chimes in. Even in Fontaine, we had heard news of other cities. I am somewhat familiar with the governing bodies of each city. Onyx Blossom, I don't even know Onyx Blossom. I only know of Edgerson's governing body. Do you have proof that there was some organization behind Edgerson?
What proof? The place is burned to the ground. I know from experience. I have friends and family members whose lives were ruined by them. Loans that were pulled out from underneath people. Money that just disappeared.
As Caden continues to protest his point, Cedar kind of puts his hands up to his forehead, giving it a bit of a squeeze. This is... Okay, Edgerson was apparently not the best starting point. Then what about Ignis? You talk as though you know her, according to Banuk's...
I don't know her, but I know what Edgerson was like. And I think I know why she did what she did. At Onyx Blossom, especially near the end, there was people we're saving, but there wasn't much else left in that city we're saving.
Banuk is gonna make a few strong strides towards you, Caden. Don't act like you know who she is. I worked under her. I knew what she was like. I saw what the cleansing did to her, and I saw the monster that came out.
You knew Ignis?
At least the ones the rumors claim to be Ignis. Yes. She used to be my superior. But after the cleansing, her eyes would glow like burning embers, flames coming out from the irises, and around her just a blazing inferno as his hand postures towards his cheek where the burn scar is. This is what I got from her rampage.
And at this point, Sam snaps open a beer.
Did he try to cover the sound by making like a gas noise? Was he trying to be subtle?
Sam, you managed to pull out. There's most of what was in the cooler were bottles, but there were a few loose cans that you could easily pull out and crack open, and you do. And anyone with a perception above 9 would have heard it.
Sorry. Human
Everyone
politics.
just looks at him.
Yeah.
Human politics, wildly fascinating.
Banuk is so distracted by his outburst towards Caden that he does not turn.
have you actually met Ignis?
I used to know the one claimed to be Ignis, yes. There was always something a little twisted about her sense of humor. She enjoyed taking practice shots at the wildlife and would chuckle at it.
Out of curiosity, on my end of things, this is throwing me for a loop a little bit, just so you're aware, Dragon, because I thought,
oh, it's all intended, dude. I know exactly what I'm doing.
Because there's specific events that
I'm well aware. You figure it out. That's your job.
Okay.
But Banuk is staring you down, his eyes reminiscing, his hand still kind of touching at the burn, his mouth snarling on and off between anger and frustration and quivering here and there. But
I don't think you truly knew Ignis.
if you've never met her, how can you be so confident? How can you keep saying all this? What do you know about Ignis?
I'm gonna flare my eyes red.
Flare them red.
Yeah, like the color change thing I can do with my eyes.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to... How many subtle spell sorcery points
I'm
do you
running
have?
out, but I can...
Didn't you use it 3 times already?
Yeah, but I can get myself more... with a bonus action, I can break down one of my first level spell slots for sorcery points.
Give me a wild magic roll of D100 as you use that. And make your eyes turn red.
83.
All right. And as your eyes begin to flare red, Banuk suddenly recoils from you. He actually trips over himself and falls to the ground, knocking the cooler sideways and over and spilling some of what little ice was
inside. The only one who would have seen this, by the way, is Sam.
How?
Potentially, if he's paying attention. Because my back's to everyone else. Oh, my eyes, I mean.
Oh, yeah. So, Sam, if you're not completely distracted by Banuk, you'll see Caden's eyes glowing.
Just mid eating my rations and drinking, I stop.
And you rolled an 83, right?
Yes.
I have a bad feeling about this. Okay. Everybody in the room.
Oh no, is it one of these ones?
I need you to roll me a d10, Caden.
Oh no. Okay.
What did you do to us?
We'll find out. We're in it together.
All right. Why is there 2 dice?
No, it was only Caden rolling, right?
Oh, Koji, what is that for?
He rolled 2.
Oh.
I thought you said everybody in the room.
No, everyone in the room is going to be affected by it. My bad.
Okay.
Yeah, Caden's rolling, and as Caden, your eyes flare in this brilliant, deep red-orange. Sam, you're distracted a brief moment by Banuk stumbling and tripping over. And Sam, you hear Banuk under his breath, "No, Ignis." And with that, the room erupts in fire as you all take 4 points of fire damage. And Caden...
Yep.
You're gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're gonna heal 30 points of health.
I'm already full.
Well, you feel good. You feel powerful. But everyone else in the room is gonna get hit with this outward explosion of fire as Sam.
This is so perfect.
You hear him say,
"From Caden."
It's a single blast wave of fire.
Probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
And with that, I think that's a perfect place to stop tonight.
I wasn't going to do it this soon, but it...
Yeah, you did it, though.
Caden.
Cool. All right. Well, that will conclude episode 11 of Horizon Exploration as the party is having a bit of a discussion with the leadership. We're learning a little bit about Caden and Edrison and this Ignis fellow that's been mentioned a few times. And Sam got a cold one.
If I wasn't so shocked from Caden's fiery eyes, I would have stopped the cooler from spilling over.
Priorities.
All you hear is Banuk freaking. He goes, "No, my beer!"
I know. Dragon says like, oh, he knocked some of it over. I was like, oh, I really want to stop this. I feel like I'm supposed to really be shocked.
But what do y'all think? What are we thinking right now?
Making Ignis easy.
I mean, I know what I'm doing at the start of next session.
Oh no! I'm
Oh,
gonna
yeah?
get shot in
What's
the back
that?
of my head.
To be determined? If it's,
I mean, I was absolutely gonna ask to do it, but
you could ask and you can.
Yeah. I mean, I absolutely want to just immediately try to tackle Caden. It's like fire happens and Banuk looks scared. I'm taking Caden down.
Actually, Maxine, what was your perception modifier? It's like a 4 or 5. All right,
Yeah.
hold up. So Sam was close enough to hear it, but again, your perception is so high. Let me see if
Can you read lips?
Well, I
Wait.
maxed words, Maxine, though.
I actually didn't need to roll. Your
No,
passive
but
is high enough.
Banuk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Maxine, you would have overheard Banuk in right before the burst occurred. You were paying attention to him when he stumbled over, and you would have, if not heard it, you would have lip read Ignis from him. So, yeah, Maxine, I think it's appropriate too. But yeah, I will say I did not expect tonight's session to go in this direction. But
I kind of wanted to hold off, but I was, it's a
no,
good time.
dude, lean into it. But yeah, like an hour in, I was like, "Oh shit, this is happening."
That was actually that was a perfect roll. I like how you reflavored it though. It was good.
Yeah. I think.
Oh, I just realized I'm not clean anymore.
No, you're charred.
Yeah, true.
You never even realized you were clean. I think the only one who noticed was
No,
Maxine.
but subconsciously, I was very appreciative of it.
I
I
was
loved
hoping
it.
you'd notice later. You'd be like walking around like, "Oh wow, I'm really clean," and then you might connect the dots. But then I just threw the fucking towel out or the whatever out the window when I just blasted that. So you're like, it's very obvious now.
Well, based on how this is going, next time, I imagine this conversation will continue for a little bit. We'll see what happens with Caden or Banuk or the relationship here, for that matter, next time. And depending on how the session goes, maybe we'll even see the direction the party is headed next. But with that, everyone out there, thank you all for joining. Hope you enjoyed. We'll be back next weekend with Horizon Exploration Episode 12. And we'll close it out here. So with that, thank you, everybody. And as always, take it easy. Bye.